Coming up on Network Africa. A Kenyan court frees officials of the National Doctors Union jailed during the health sector strike. And 6 journalists arrested in Côte d'Ivoire on suspicion of inciting mutiny. Plus, residents of Nigeria's oil city Port Harcourt protest over environmental pollution. Hello and welcome to the program. I am Bisi Adebayo. A court in Kenya has released 7 officials representing doctors of government hospitals who have been on strike since December over demands for a pay hike. The officials were jailed on Monday for 1 month for disobeying an order to call off the strike. Meanwhile, operations in some private hospitals in Kenya have been cancelled after doctors refused to work until the 7 officials were released. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union wants the government to implement a deal agreed on in 2013 to give doctors a 150 to 180% pay rise on basic salaries, review working conditions, job structures and criteria for promotions and address understaffing in state hospitals. But the government says it can only afford a 40% pay rise.
The doctors who are now in custody should be released forthwith, unconditionally, that the talks resume. The premise being that you cannot negotiate this sort of dispute in the environment that it is. The arrest, committal to civil jail, has been hanging on the doctors like a sword of Damocles. And therefore, our objective today was to remove that sword, have a level playing field, so that then when the discussions resume, everybody is comfortable. But then put a timeline so that we don't do this forever.
We'll go on for as long as it takes. We have been on strike for more than 70 days, and we'll go on for as long as it takes until we have the CBA agreed on and implemented.
Let's get more on this story from the editor of Kenya's Standard newspaper, Ferdinand Wongela. Thanks for your time, Ferdinand. What's the state of public hospitals like in Kenya at the moment?
It is expected that when doctors and officials are during their Monday, the public sector also announced that they will be joining the strike. There will be continuing something for 3 hours. I think it's good to note that the public, the president of the public sector and clinics, they are not going to join the strike definitely. They are generally for 3 hours. And it is the support of the dear colleagues who are in the night job and be released today by the Court of Appeal.
And private doctors also joined the strike at midnight in support of their colleagues who were earlier jailed by the court. But what effect is this having on the country's health sector and ordinary Kenyans who need basic health care?
At this point, it says that there is really no indication what will happen. So far, what the news is that they are close to reaching an agreement. But I don't think the government will be willing to say that around the country.
Well, the doctors are demanding a 300% pay increase, among other things. But is there any possibility that the government will accede to their demands?
That is something that everybody is hoping will come to this. But again, it's just a difficult that despite the difference that the government has not been passed last year, it is of an agreement they had in 2016 that the government is able to do this. And also, remember that in 2019 was again a campaign period. So remember this year, Kenya is against the elections in August of this year, 2017. Some of are maybe an election or just like this, but will not be fulfilled. So it's really not certain if the government is committed to do these things. Because part of the demand is improving the health care facilities in public hospitals and that sort of thing. There's been very little movement on that. So I don't know if this strike will make any movement on that. But it is
Editor, Kenya Standard newspaper Ferdinand Mongela, thank you for joining us on the program. In West Africa, journalists in Cote d'Ivoire have criticized the arrest of 6 of their colleagues for allegedly distributing false information which could lead soldiers to revolt. This comes after a series of protests by various factions of the military seeking bonus pay after the government conceded to the demands of an initial group of mutineers in January.
6 journalists in Cote d'Ivoire have been arrested on suspicion of faking news that could incite soldiers to revolt just days after a mutiny. The journalists were arrested on Sunday and after several hours of questioning were taken to a police camp in Aguen, where they are still being held.
These are journalists who have been doing their jobs. They are well known. These are not people who will flee. I think that they can set them free and they will be able to answer to all the summons, just like any other civilian in that position.
Cote d'Ivoire has been gripped by a series of revolts this year by various factions of the military seeking bonus pay after the government conceded to the demands of an initial group of mutineers in January. The immediate issues date back to the aftermath of the civil war in 2011 that ended nearly a decade of geographical division in the country and put President Alassane Ouattara in power. Thousands of former rebels who backed him became part of the army, as well as other branches of the security forces, the forestry service, customs officers, and the prison system, rubbing shoulders with former foes. But 6 years on, the country's security apparatus remains riven by factions. Members of Cote d'Ivoire's Journalists Association called for the immediate release of their colleagues, saying the arrests pose a severe threat to press freedom in the country.
What the association has decided is to first publish a statement to condemn what happened, because the journalists did their work and gave facts. But of course, government reacted by arresting them. What we are demanding